Okay, so what's going on there in India? This is Mount Meru. A few weeks ago I did a video about Mount Kailash and thought, wow, that was pretty amazing. Well, wait till you get a load of this. Mount Meru is located in northern India in the Himalayan mountains. It's right here, and there's an awful picture of it, so I won't waste time looking at it, but it's right here. A few weeks ago, I did a video about Mount Kailash, which is right here. So they're not too far from each other. And I'd just like to point out that this is China up here, Tibet, and this is India here. Also, I think the individuals who inhabit these mountains don't really care much about international borders. I bet they got one heck of a passport. Okay, so let's go back to Mount Meru. Let me read a little snippet here. It's a 5-peaked mountain, and it's very significant in the Hindu, Jain, and Buddhist religions. It's considered to be the center of the physical, metaphysical, and spiritual universe. And one more thing before we get started, I want you to look at this. Do you see this? That's a dragon. Wait, no, that's my neighbor's dog. No, it's Big Bird. All right, what I just demonstrated was pareidolia, and that's when people see patterns in random objects, random data. And I'm often accused of suffering and being afflicted with pareidolia. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is, hopefully, if you're typing right now that I have pareidolia, just simmer down. I know what it is, so you don't have to tell me what it is. Let's go ahead and get started. Here's our first enhancement. And all I have done is adjust the resolution. I've made it a little bit darker, and I have adjusted the contrast just a little bit. And what this does is bring out detail. I think you can hopefully see where I'm going here. Mount Meru is 21,850 feet high. So let's just say this is the bottom roughly. And here's the top. Middle is about here. Let's say that's about 10,000 feet. 15,000 feet would be about here. So we can easily see there is a gigantic, probably a good guess is right around 1,500 foot high carving is what it looks like. I don't think it's an independent structure from the mountain. It looks like it's been carved into it. Let's make it a little bit bigger. We'll take a closer look at it with a few other pictures also. Yeah, it's probably a little too big. All right, but here, from a distance, this looks like a head, but it's not. It's and we'll see in another photo a little bit more clearly. One typical aspect of these carvings is it's a conglomerate of many different things, and I do think it's made this way. Let me adjust this. I think it's made this way so at different distances you see a different portrayal of something. It's almost like a communication. So far away it's one thing, you're a little closer it's something else, a little closer it's something else, and when you're right up close you can really start to see many things that make up the bigger pictures. Okay, I hope that was clear. Let's go to our next photo. Here's the same picture after I've done a few adjustments to bring out some detail. Plainly see a design. We see a lot of intricate carving and what appears to be profiles. That looks like a profile of a man there, and possibly two more. Now here it is a little bit darker, and you can see some more detail. Is that lettering? Maybe it's some lettering people from that area of the earth might recognize. We can also see what appear to be humanoid looking, and I'm going to say carvings. Possible either figures or lettering up here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. It's at this point when I make a video that I can't see much, but when it comes out in the final product, I see a lot that I missed. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And one more time. There. I think you can plainly see there's something there, and it's really huge. Okay, let's go to our next photo. Here's a colorized picture. Sometimes it brings out some detail you may miss otherwise. And there's quite a bit of detail in there. I think some of it is carving, and I also think that some of it is quite possibly a metaphysical manifestation that's caught by the camera. Because I think if you're standing there, you might be able to see it all, but I think these things are at a different frequency that we just can't see in our normal day-to-day. Let me make it a little bit bigger. There we are. Maybe one more time. Look at that. Look at that. And let's, what the heck, one more time. Wow. Well, let's go on to our next photo. This picture was taken in 2008 by a Korean mountain climbing team, and they went up to this area right here. We're going to take a closer look at this area down here and pay particular attention to this little dark square area. This photograph is a good example of why I went into some detail about pareidolia earlier in the video. If you glance at this and you're just going back and forth between videos and you're watching HD videos most of the time with vivid color and all of that, you're not going to see it. First off, you need to stop the video where it is. Well, not right now, but when I'm done talking about it, stop it, then you will be able to see it, and I'll do some enlargements. This is a large group of people, and you can start, I'm going to start pointing some out, like here's a person here, here's a person here, and they don't look like humans. You see that face? It's kind of a big blocky head. These are not human beings. Here's a person here. Here's a big group of individuals. See the little, and they're not little. They're probably, and I can't measure on Google Earth because it's so contorted. I'm guessing in the 80-foot range. I hear you laughing now, but more people. I call them people through here. Here's some sort of signage up here. Looks like a number 5, and a 5 is predominant in most of these photos. Now, the cherry on the icing on the cake here is this, what appears to be this window, and this guy that's in there, and he's looking out, and he's really big. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Hang on, let me adjust this a little bit. And I'm sure you see the guy, and I think the figures will maintain their integrity in the photo here. But here they are. Here's our big guy, and he sure looks like he's happy in there. Looks like a guy wearing a fuzzy hat. A human being would be minuscule if you could see them in this picture. Here's the devil over here. Here's a guy over here. A little bit bigger. There he is again. And I think I'll leave it. Well, we'll go one more after this. See how that works out. And there it is. So when it gets this big, like I said earlier, I can't see it, so I'll take it down a notch or two. One thing that I also notice that is prevalent, and that is some of these things have an ancient look to them, but many of them look like they've been recently updated, which leads me to believe this is a current, ongoing society. That's a pretty trippy picture, and believe it or not, there are some other trippy pictures. Let's go to our next photo. This is interesting. This is a colorized picture, and it's right beneath the area we were just looking at. And as you can see, there's vividly some humanoid figures and humanoid-like figures in here. Let me bring it up a notch. You can see this guy is very interesting. That definitely looks like a female. There's a person there. There's a guy that's wearing his shades, it appears. One more time. There's those guys. Looks like he's holding something here. There's our lady. That's very interesting. And again, I don't think this is just some sort of ancient ruins. This is going on right now. This may be artwork, along with some real individuals. It's hard to tell. Let's go to our next photo. We're going to take a really good close-up look at this area here. I don't know if you can see it at the moment, but you can make out some figures up here. Let's take a closer look. So here's the top of the peak, and it's admittedly not in perfect focus, but it is far away, and it's not meant to be seen. You can start to see what look like figures all throughout here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Check this out. See these entities all through here? This is kind of funny, but you see this guy? It looks like he's helping this fellow up right here. I like to say this little guy. No, they're not little guys. They're over 50 feet positively for sure. Between 50 and 100 is a good guess. You have this guy here, somebody up there. Let me get it one more time. Sometimes I think we're looking at some sort of artistic renderings, and I think they are very artistic in their approach at things. And I think they draw things that they've recently seen, but that's just a guess. Here they are through here. It's a very deified looking individual right there. Okay. And let's look at another picture of the same peak, but from another photograph. So here it is again, and I don't know which picture is older than the other, but you can see that those little figures are not there, but something is right here. Let's go a little bit bigger. To me, that looks like some sort of aerial craft that's parked right there. Perhaps these are carvings all throughout here. And yeah, that's pretty big. We see this large looking humanoid, and once again, is that artistic or is it a real person? Okay, and let's look at the two together. So here's the two peaks, well, the same peak. Here's the one with the entities on it. Here's the one with the ship on it. I was able to get this screenshot off of Google Earth, and it's on the side of the mountain. I don't think it's relatively that big, probably between 50 and 100 feet tall, but this is very representative of what you see on this mountain and throughout the Himalayas. It appears to be these Chinese, Tibetan-looking people. That would make sense. And some don't look so Chinese or Tibetan, like this guy here. And one thing I have found is you see a big mix of time periods. It looks like there's ancient peoples, and you'll see in other areas, you will see people wearing suits and ties. And that will be in future videos. This is a great picture, though. And I will just let you determine what this is. I will not try to give you any ideas. In fact, let me know what you think it is. Let's go to our next photo. This will be the final picture we look at today. And this is called the shark's fin. And the area we were just looking at that peak with the entities and the ship, is right about in here. But our next close-up will be over in this area. Alright, so I debated on whether to put this in the video or not, but I thought it was very important that I at least try. And if you look off over in this area, you will see what appear to be some very tall individuals. My best reckoning on this, since I can't measure on Google Earth, is somewhere 200 to 300 feet. If this is not the abode of the gods, I'd like to see what is. Let's go in a little closer. So here we are. We can see some individuals standing here. Let me increase the size. At first glance, this looks like kind of a whited out face, but that is not the case. That's just a bright object. This individual, here's his face right here. It looks like he's wearing a very fancy hat. Here's a shoulder, an arm, another arm. Here's his legs. We have a person here. At first glance, it looks like maybe someone looking down wearing sunglasses. That's not it. Here's an eye, here's a nose, and a mouth. And it looks like he's wearing a crown. A little kind of a stout guy. And both of these individuals are looking at this direction, up at this person here. Okay. We have this large figure up here. We have a person, looks like they're almost doing a dance of some sort in this area. And again, this is just my take on it, but I'm trying to help viewers see what I'm seeing here. This is in a very cloudy, far off, dark area, but it's worth trying to bring out. We see quite a few more entities in this area as well as over here. I don't know if they're spirit beings or they're actual flesh and blood people like us. Let me make it a little bit bigger. See up here, it looks like a big guy peeking over the mountain there. I'll take it up one more time. The reason I leave it in such a contained area is if I make the picture too big, you lose resolution, and it just kind of gets really blurry looking. Not like this isn't blurry. And I'll be working on this, like I always say. It seems like I'm working on one thing and something else shows up. And I've had so much show up in the past 2 months that I used to be concerned that I would run out of material. Now I've got so much material, I'm worried that I can't get it all out. Let me take it down one more notch. Right there. That's a pretty good picture. Well, let's leave off with Mount Meru. Let's go to it next. So I'm sure someone's thinking or has already thought, well, didn't the mountain climbers see this? And I'm sure they did. Why they don't talk about it, I don't know. Why nobody talks about it, I don't know. I do know that the Hindus, Buddhists, and Jains talk about it, and they're exactly right. One reason I think science and archaeology, history, people don't talk about this is that it changes everything. I hate to say we've been lied to. Technically that's the case. Maybe they're protecting us. Maybe they're protecting them. But I know this throws science and history under the bus. If they were to tell us that, these people are here or were here, even a millennia ago, millions of years ago, it would tell us, it'd be pretty obvious, that everything we've been told is totally wrong. And there's a complete history we don't know about. And I do believe that. And I think this history is starting to bubble up to the surface slowly but surely. But I think the fissure that is rather small right now, where these bubbles are coming from, is ever widening, and more is coming out, and more people are being able to see this. I'm not the only person who's doing this. Well, there it is. I hope you liked the video. It ran a little long, but there's a lot to put out. I look forward to your comments, and I'll throw this in. Your comments guide much of what I do, and if it weren't for comments, I would not have, in my opinion, have achieved a much better way and method at displaying these pictures. It's getting better. If you look at some of my older work, even from a few years ago, compared to now, there's a vast difference. Okay, I'm done talking. Thank you for watching. I am Roger in Kansas City, and you are you wherever you are. Real quick, thanks for all the new subscribers. Almost 3,000 in the past 2 weeks. And that's just monumental. And I look at it as a big responsibility. So that's it for now. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.